Hey guys, how you doing? Alex coming to you back from the garage, and today what we're going to do is we're going to install some FIC 1440s on the Corvette. A lot of you guys have been watching the progress on the LS9 equipped ZR1. It kind of sounds stupid to say, but sometimes you got to say stuff like that. I ended up running out of injector, so the mods on this 2009 ZR1 are as follows: upper pulley 2.55 Kong upper / grip tech pulley, a tune, and Sunoco 260 GT fuel. That's it. And the quickest it has been 60 to 130 is 6.8, 60 to 130, running out of injector. I thought it was an octane issue. It ended up being, I'm seriously out of injector because they're like 52-pound injectors. So I hit up Nick Santarpia, buddy of mine who works at FIC. I had some FIC 1440s lying around for the white car, and I was like, hey Nick, any chance I could trade these in for FIC 1440s for the ZR1? He's like, actually, I could take your specific FICs and make modifications to them so that it can fit your Corvette. And I'm like, badass. And he'll clean them and all that stuff. So here's the box. Now the box, I believe it's the same box I gave him, so it doesn't have it. Oh no, yeah, it's a different. No, he gave me a new box. Look at that, IS303 1440H, and these are what LS9. I believe LS3 stuff is similar. I'm not 100%, and don't ever think that I'm some kind of authority on LS stuff. I'm definitely not. You want LS authority stuff? You talk to John Dock and all those guys. So this is the FIC 1440. I'm hoping I can scroll wheel. Let me see, the little scroll wheel on this should give you some kind of control authority over zoom. Let me see. Oh, that actually got worse. Let's see the other way. There we go. So that's what the tip looks like. So you guys have an idea of what we're dealing with the FIC 1440 stuff. Wow, this is super nice. Very nice. I like this camera very much. So we're gonna go get these installed, get them tuned with HP tuner stuff, using FIC 1440 data. Go out there and make a hit. Let's see if we have plenty of injector and the extra overhead of injector, if it allows us to lean on it a little bit more, because I was literally out of injector. No frills here. We're just gonna take injectors out, put new ones on, straightforward. If I can show you something along the way, great. If not, next thing you'll see is me flashing the vehicle and doing pulls on it. First thing I noticed right off the bat is the size of the injector. I hit up Nick just to make sure that we're good, and he said, yep, it's just gonna stick a little bit further into the manifold with the FIC 1440. So I said, okay, just making sure, you know, last thing I want is issues. So everything else looks to be on the money. So let's get these guys installed. It wasn't that bit of a difficult process. There's 4 bolts that hold down the 10mm bolts that hold down the rail. I undid that one, which I think will give me enough slack to undo this one, but this one seems to be snug in there, so let me work on that. Okay, ended up getting it done. So in the future, it's probably a good idea to take the lid off, but I really did not want to take the lid off. Reason being is because the rail has to kind of get under this little, I don't know what you want to call it, this casting area where the lid mounts, and it's a very tight fit. And because the injector has a longer lead than the stock injector, it took a little bit of finagling to get it to, you know, get it in there. So what I ended up doing was basically put it half on the rail, half on the bottom with the rail removed, and slide it in. Kind of a pain in the butt, but at the end of the day, not the worst thing I've ever done. This is probably going to be the harder side, because this is the side that has the hard line, you know what I mean? So it has a harder line, and it's not that flexible. The other one looks to be a little easier, and right as I say that, I'm probably going to be very wrong, because I can take the rail right off the sucker. You know what I mean? The rail, I can just take it right off. It has a flexible line that attaches to the other side that has a hard line. So I'm able to get the injector all the way out. I have full access to the injectors there, so it should be a lot easier. Let me get it done, get the tune loaded, and get to logging. Also, it is a lot easier if you undo the coils undo the injector harnesses, undo everything, and you have full access to everything on this side. So it's a lot better. Okay, so this side definitely needed a little nudge. What I ended up doing was, again, placing the injector half on the rail, half on the manifold, basically, and just kind of with a screwdriver, just kind of pushed this guy down while everything was in place and cinched the O-ring in there. Not an easy direct fit, it's kind of a weird angle, so just be mindful of that when you're doing it at home, that it's gonna need a little finagling to get them in there, not a direct drop in like Coyote stuff. Coyote stuff is way, way, way easier. In this application, of course, there's certain applications where the Coyote is an absolute bastard, especially when the injectors are under the blower. But this, half on the rail, half on the lower manifold, and just kind of wiggle them in, and once they're sort of close, seat them with like a screwdriver or something, just push it down a little bit and it all falls into place nicely. Okay, she's running, so that's always a plus. But the fuel trims are a little rich, so I'm gonna wait till this thing warms up 100%. So once it gets to about 180 operating temp, I'll go ahead and start hitting MAF a little bit. MAF's a little on the rich side. In my opinion, both banks are rich about 18%, which is not ideal. I like seeing these in the 5% tops. So that's, it could be like Ford, where it's the opposite, where maybe that's showing lean, right? Meaning if it's negative on pre-Coyote Mustangs, it's lean. I checked all my injector connections, everything's good. So I'm just gonna touch up fueling, and then I'm gonna do some slow revs. So I'm gonna do some slow revs right now, so I can get some MAF data up here to the tune of, I don't know, somewhere in the 4s or 5s up here. And once I dial that in, I'll relog and see how all that looks. So let me grab some slow revs, and then I'll tune it and show you what the difference is. Okay, my suspicions were confirmed, and I'll show you why. I did slow revs here, and you could see that it got better with RPM. But then when I totally let off the gas at the end, you'll see that fuel trims went all the way -25, I think, right here, right there, boom, right there. So basically, when I let off the gas, it enters into like a coasting fuel shutoff situation, or shuts off the injectors, and the value was negative, meaning I need to add fuel, because according to everything I read and heard from everybody and a expert tuner, that you have to fudge everything with the MAF. So time to hit the MAF, good old-fashioned MAF stuff, because I understand that the injector data is the injector data, and I'm gonna have to just play with the MAF, and I'm familiar with MAF stuff, so I'm gonna hit the MAF, come back, we'll see what the fuel trims say, get them close, and then we'll party. We'll see what the deal is. Okay, so I've been tuning on the car for a little while now. The MAF is very sensitive, so just kind of take that into account going forward. But now it's time to do some street stuff. But before I do that, I want to flash it one more time, then I'm going to go ahead and do some street tuning, and I am not going to go wide open throttle until I install the wideband. That is very important. I don't want to go wide open and trust a plug read only. I want to do some verification with an actual wideband analogged into the data logger, along with plug reading, and I don't want to kill myself in the process, so I'm more than likely going to take it to the dyno and finish it there. So hopefully you guys get a little bit out of this video in terms of the process. Injectors were easy to put in. I'm about 7 or 8 tunes in and swinging one way or the other. The MAF and injector data is something that is a little more sensitive on these cars. They're kind of like one of those cars that when you throw an adjustment at it, it doesn't really take. So instead of giving you 2 separate videos on the Corvette and the Notch, let's just go ahead and work on the Notch and give you one long video and an update of what I have going on with the Notch. And then when it's all said and done, I'll give you a proper dyno video with the wideband installed on this car, and maybe the Notch also, because I think I can install a wideband a lot easier on that car than this car. So let's get over to the Notch. Let's install the brand new carburetor in it, let you know the updates about the previous carburetor, and then we'll see how it runs with the new carburetor that I'm about to install. Okay, back on the Notch, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff. So let's take a look at what I got going on. I got new gasket that came with the carburetor. I got an AEM Wideband. It's a Uego part number 300300. Literally just requires you to put the O2 in it, power ground, and that's it. I'm not looking to do anything but stare at it and tune it visually. And I got a new carburetor. A lot of you had great suggestions. I got extra gaskets just in case. A lot of you had great suggestions as to what to get for a carburetor, and I was pretty much, I decided what I was going to go with before anyone else, because I had seen a commercial and I thought, let me give it a shot. So these are the new Brawler series carburetors from Holley. As you can see, it has adjustable air bleeds, which I will not touch. It has a sight glass for the bowl. Sight glass for the float, so you can actually see the flow going up and down and not getting stuck in up position, both sides. And it looks like it's replaceable because it has a little snap ring in there. It has a nice throttle body. It looks like a typical Holley carburetor, nothing special. It's the 750 right here, so what I'm going to do is go ahead, get it installed as it is without any adjustments, and we'll see if this thing starts puking fuel out of the sucker like the other one does, because then that'll tell me if it's my fuel system or if it's the actual carburetor. That's a really good looking carburetor, I'll be honest. Looks good. Actuation's nice, smooth. Okay. So, I mean, hopefully I have some good luck with this guy. The other one, after getting it rebuilt, you know the story, didn't really work out to my favor. So I'm hoping that after I get this guy installed, I have better luck. But we'll see. That's how we try things. Looks good though. I mean, right off the bat, it does look good on the car. So, yeah. Very nice. Okay, let's check out some of the differences on this carburetor compared to the other one. So I swapped these guys out because the other carburetor came with these, and that's for the feed line. But if you look closely at this carburetor, the other side of the fuel bowl does not have an opening for a feed line. It's just capped off. Whereas this guy has the ability to run the fuel system from either side. This is plugged up, this guy's plugged up, but it's open all the way into the bowl, so you should be able to see fuel. You should be able to feed it from whichever way you want. I went ahead and put my lines on it. Now all I have to do literally is key on, monitor what it's doing, but I'm going to put the linkages on just so I can control it from the inside of the car, but obviously I have to have a direct line of sight to make sure that fuel isn't flying out of the guy. So I'll go over everything real quick, and as long as everything looks good, we'll see if this thing starts up. So I got to put the vacuum line in the back, and everything else is capped off, and it should be able to run. Hopefully it doesn't spew fluid everywhere. Be nice if it didn't. Pump's running. Oh, crazy how it didn't spew fluid all over the place. Okay, you see the floats? This guy, I don't see it, so it might be adjusted way down. So I'm gonna have to bring that guy up a little bit. This float is up. This one I have to adjust. But before that, let me put all the spark plugs in, and then we'll get after it. Okay, I was able to get it running a little bit. The float had to be adjusted, so I adjusted. The nice thing about this float is you can see the sight glass right there. So you shake the car a little bit, you can see where the level is. That's the nice advantage of carburetors that have a sight glass, so you can actually see where the fuel is. I adjusted it about, the car's not exactly super level, but I adjusted it about halfway up. This side looks a little higher. Actually, let me zoom in. Forget this camera has a halfway decent zoom. So you can see that the bowl is adjusted about maybe 3/8 of the way up, just over a quarter. This one probably needs to be adjusted again, but I adjusted the idle mixture screw a little bit, basically turn and a half out, all four corners. But again, the fine tuning is going to be done with a wideband, so it ran real choppy and nasty, but I wanted to get it on video and do any final adjustments on camera. I didn't want to, you know, waste it. I want to get you real, you know, real deal info. Don't want to sit there and lie to you about shit. So plenty of guys can lie to you up. I'm not that guy. I'm just a bro. Just want to give you guys good content. So let's crank her up. I adjusted this guy a little. I should idle around 1,000 or so if I'm not mistaken. Basically the same settings I had before. Just under 900. Way better. Oh, dude. Night and day. Just night and day. Oh, wow. Oh my god, this is gonna, look, it comes right back down. It doesn't do that weird high idle thing that I was having issues with. I thought I had vacuum leaks. I thought I had all these issues. And you rev it, comes right back down to 1,000 RPMs, whereas before when you drove it around it would like stay at 2,000 RPMs or so. So all right, let's make some more progress. Let's see if we can wire in this wideband. I don't know if it fits in there. These are 208th, I think, and what I got was 216. So let's see if we can wire in the wideband to see where it's at, and I can adjust the idle mixture screws. So this is what I got. I got a, basically it looks like a plug and play situation where this is the O2 sensor. This is the bung and connections, but I won't be needing, I gotta flip this thing so I can actually see it. There we go. I won't be needing any of these things because this guy should theoretically plug into this guy. Oh, the other one is power. Yeah, this guy, I'm sure it's a key power, so both of them have to be wired up. Okay, so I'll go ahead and find a 12-volt source, key on. Get this guy run through the body because this is carbureted, so there's no O2s that are being used, and then run power inside the car, find somewhere to put it in there, and hopefully I can at least see air fuel and adjust a little bit, and then on the dyno or on the street, even better, on the street I should be able to dial in watt fueling. How? Well, I also bought a jet kit. That's right, for those of you that are old. This is a Holley 36-181 jet kit. It has all the primary, secondary jet adjustments you can make. This thing is revving so snappy, I don't think it needs much. But just in the event that I need more jet or less jet, this will help me out. But let's get this all run. Let's see what it's running at air fuel wise and see if any adjustments can be made. Okay, got the O2 installed on the passenger side O2. Ran it over the cross member under situation here. I'm gonna grab it from the top shifter area, see if I could run it under the console, see if I could grab power somewhere in there, and get the gauge, you know, loosely fit on somewhere, figure out where to permanently mount it, somewhere I can see it easy, see how fast it reads, and see if I can actually dial this thing in, especially on the dyno. That'd be cool to get it on the dyno and dial it in 100%. So let's see if I can get this guy routed properly. So I removed the little access panel that was where the radio is supposed to be, and I thought, well, this is a very nicely well cut panel, you know, I might be able to make a hole in it and put the gauge on it. It's made out of wood. I'm not hating on them. I mean, it did have wood screws, so, well, not really, but yeah, made out of wood. Okay, so everything's hooked up. I verified that it's getting power. I hooked up the wideband underneath. So the last thing to do is to see if it actually works. Let me put the camera down so I can multitask, so I can actually turn the car on without having to have too much bullshit happen. Let me see if I can put the camera in a position of, there you go. See if we can zoom in here. There we go. I like this camera, it's very nice. Okay, I don't know what the hell that means. Oh, heating up. Wow, this thing starts so freaking good. Wow, I'm like blown away by how good it sounds. Now that it starts. we'll see where she's idling. We'll see where she likes it. I'm not gonna do too much adjusting. I'll just do all that on the dyno. Take it to PBH one Saturday or something and do my thing down there. Wow, okay. Actually, it's I leave it right there because it's chopping. So the chop will cause like a false reading. So let me play with the idle. Man, I don't even want to play with them. It's between, I don't know, 14.0, 14.2. Do a slow rev and see what happens. Oh yeah, she's rich. Actually, let me tighten the screws a little bit. Get that number somewhere in the 14.0 to 14.7 range, and we'll see if we can adjust on this guy. Stable number, but at least you get the idea. Okay, we're adjusting and trying to get everything dialed in, so I'm ecstatic. Okay, so I think this is a good spot to stop the video in. There's gonna be a lot of fine adjusting, especially with the carburetor. Trying to get a good shot. There's gonna be a lot of fine adjusting, especially with the carburetor. So I'll work on that on my end, and it'll be a trial and error process, but I'll get everything as close as possible. I'm gonna drive it a little bit just to see what the street mannerisms are. Probably not a good idea to do it without a filter, but I'm just too excited, and I want to drive the car because it's been a long time. Once the hood shows up, I'll be able to get a filter on it, and then drive around with a 4-inch cowl hood, filter, get it on the dyno, play around, and see how it's all going. But guys, the fact that this thing is revving this good and running this good, pretty much right out of the box with a Brawler carburetor with minimal adjustments, I'd say she's a winner, and there was something up with the other carb 100%. So thanks for listening, guys. Check out the revs on this thing. Nice. All right, guys, I'm out of here. See you guys later.